Hello and welcome once again to another thought experiment. I want to extend my gratitude to David Shapiro on YouTube for sort of planting this thought in my mind. Uh, to give you a little background, David Shapiro is a guy worth following, and he's incredibly smart, and he deals a lot with artificial intelligence. And specifically, he has for some time been pondering how to best align artificial intelligence so it means well for all human beings and all living beings. What he has come across, he calls the heuristic imperatives. Um, just look up those two words, heuristic imperatives. They're very useful words to describe this. The heuristic imperatives are three simple rules, and we'll get to them in a moment. One of the challenges of an intelligence that makes decisions and acts on its own is to make sure that it's doing not just one job, one purpose. There is, in fact, what's called the paperclip maximizer problem, which is if you assign artificial intelligence with enough power and independence to make only paper clips, it will convert all the world into paper clips. So that does not align with human beings. The result is what David Shapiro suggested is have a multitude of objectives. And he developed three of these objectives, three heuristic imperatives that work in a wonderful unison and an incredible dynamic with each other. They are very simply minimize suffering in the world. Notice it doesn't say eliminate suffering. That would require it euthanizes anyone who's suffering, but minimize it. Turn down the suffering in the world. That's the first one. The second one is maximize prosperity. So that all entities in the world have the most amount of resources. And the third is improve understanding. And he has tested this out and it works very well. In fact, it is very likely that some other very intelligent people are borrowing this to build what's called constitutional artificial intelligence, which is instead of putting, guardrails around what comes out of the artificial intelligence, it builds these as a central part within it at the very foundation. So, as a thought experiment, this got me thinking, what if, as we as human beings simply use these three rules to guide our life? And we tend, keeping in mind us as human beings, we have all these rules and all these structures that sort of help us make decisions. Some of those structures are like religious and philosophical organizations and foundations and thoughts, and they sort of give us a direction to go. But at the most broad and general and most positive, it does seem in my mind to come down to minimize suffering in the world, maximize prosperity for everybody, and create as much understanding in the world. And the thought experiment is very simple. How would you demonstrate this in your life? How would you minimize suffering coming from you and as you interact with people? How would you maximize prosperity, not just to yourself, but to everybody? And how would you improve understanding? That's the thought experiment. And it's not something that you really ever ends. It's something that I have, since introduced to the concept, I've been pondering regularly, and it's worth pondering regularly and consistently. Once again, minimize suffering in the world, maximize prosperity in the world, improve understanding in the world. So I'm just leaving you with this. I hope it will generate some inspiration within you. And once again, I extend my deep gratitude to David Shapiro. You can find him on YouTube. Dave Shap is what you find him under. Thanks again. Please take care. Please leave comments below. I would love to hear your feedback as you participate in this thought experiment.